They're not actually that flippy.
See how these things fly.
Oh my gosh. Holy cow, okay.
These are very stable.
Put a little more Annie on it.
Those things are nice. Holy cow.
Those buzzes are very nice.
Into this headwind. All right, here it is. This is the one that I want the most.
I mean, pretty good into a headwind. Oh yeah, they're stable. I put down hyzer, just immediately went left. Woo! Whoa. Dang, are these all just really good runs? That first one was very beefy. Those, not so much. Let's talk first impressions. So I just got done throwing these into about 10 mile-an-hour headwind. The first one is the Brodie Swirl Roach. These are gonna be my putting putters. I'm not really probably gonna be looking at throwing these anything more than maybe 200 feet max, but it was still nice to see that they were stable enough to not just absolutely flip over into the wind. If anything, they actually held a nice little kind of Annie turn. So these flew pretty nice. Now, my gosh, these might have stole the show. I've been looking for a really stable, get freaky, really a really stable zone, and these glow get freakies, I mean, the first one you saw just absolutely went straight left out of my hand. I was not expecting it to be that overstable. I started throwing them a little flatter. I think even through the last one with a little bit of Annie, and it still fought out into a headwind. These might be exactly the discs I am looking for. We're gonna throw them tailwind in a second to really kind of see how overstable they are, but so far so good with those bad boys. The next up we're gonna do, let's go with the buzzes. Can't really go wrong with a buzz. I normally carry like a beat-in buzz and then a straight buzz in my bag. These pretty much money right off the bat. So I might switch these out with the Brodie 3-pack that I have currently, but pretty standard ESP buzz. It's gonna fly straight for you. After the Get Freaky, this was probably my most anticipated disc that I was really looking forward to, the Z-Glow Vultures. The Vulture was a disc that I really fell in love with probably this season. I started using it a lot at Las Vegas at the beginning of the season, and it still maintains to be a disc that I use all the time. And I like to have kind of a beat-in Vulture that will kind of flip up to flat and then turn a little bit. A pretty straight Vulture that's just gonna kind of flip up to flat and push, and then a stable Vulture that if I really want to, I can crank flat and then it'll have a nice finish. That's what I was looking for out of these. And to be honest, first impressions, they might be absolutely perfect with what I was looking for. We're gonna see how they hold up when I put them on a little bit more of an Annie in a tailwind, but my goodness, these flew good. And honestly, I think they all flew past 420, 430 into a headwind. I will take that every time. For me, the Darkhorse Force, what I'm looking for with this disc is a really beefy, overstable one. Something that can fight against the wind. With the Forces, they do tend to be a little bit more difficult to continue to have like the same stability across the entire run of discs. So the first two, these guys, these are gonna be a little bit more of your flip up, I would say, and that's not really, for me, what I'm looking for in a Force. I've got nukes that can do that. For me, I really want something that I can just crank hard on hyzer into a headwind, and it's not gonna flip up, it's not gonna turn over, it's just gonna fight and finish. That's exactly what the first one did. So we'll see, maybe I'll test this one a little bit on an Annie to really kind of see if it does fight out at the end. But for me, that's what I'm looking for forces. For lower arm speed people though, these forces might be exactly what you want to get that same kind of disc that will fight a headwind and still finish left. Those were my first impressions. We're gonna throw them on some different angles and really get a sense on how these bad boys are flying. We'll give this a go tailwind. We'll see how it flies. I'm not, like I said, looking for this to be an actual throwing putter for me. I'll mostly be putting with these, but it's always good to just kind of see how these fly in a tailwind. Pretty much what you would expect, just a straight shooter. Even a tailwind, flipped up to flat, and kind of just gets from point A to point B real quick in a straight line. All right, the crown jewels, the Glow limited edition Get Freakies. I'm gonna throw probably one sidearm, but I'm really curious to see how these handle the torque, and especially kind of on that tight, hard flex line. So I'm gonna put a lot of Annie on them and see how they handle it. Didn't give that one enough height, so I want to throw it a little higher and really see. This one I actually probably just gonna try to throw it flat and just kind of see if it works out pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, that's gonna be a little bit more of an overstable disc than my stock Get Freakies. So into a headwind, or if I really want something to just work hard left and not flip up at all, this is probably gonna be my go-to. We'll try it with a forehand. Not too shabby. All right, straight flying buzzes. We'll just give one a go. Blue or pink, let's go blue. Tailwind, it's gonna be a little bit more overstable in a tailwind, but still flew pretty straight. Like I said, if you're looking for a straight mid, the buzz is your disc. Time to test out the Get Sneakies in a little bit of a tailwind. We'll see really just how stable these bad boys are. First one we'll do, just kind of flat, see how it flies. Okay, not too bad. Still kind of worked out of it at the end. When I throw vultures, I don't really normally throw like flex lines, but I am curious to see if I do need to throw a flex line with this, just kind of how it handles it. So I gave that one plenty of height, and so definitely had plenty of space to kind of work out. And honestly, that's probably exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to a vulture. All right, we're gonna throw the one force that I think is the beefiest, the most overstable. We're gonna do the same line, or attempt to do the same line, and see if this one fights out as well. See, that one holds it a little longer, but there it goes at the end. And pretty far down there, almost made it all the way to the road. We'll do one more force for the people at home. We'll try to see if we can flip this one up a little bit. Okay. Didn't actually want to flip up at all. So that actually might not be a bad sign. It might be one of those discs where at my arm speed, if I get it on enough hyzer, it's not gonna flip up at all. But if I get it too flat, it will turn a little bit and then fade at the end. So this one will try to go with more of a flatter release. So you saw right out of the hand, it did start going right just a little bit, but then it did fight out at the end. And like I said, we are throwing in a 7 to 10 mile per hour tailwind. So that's gonna help these discs fight out a little bit more. But yeah, those are my first impressions on them. Honestly, I can see 3 or 4 of these immediately going in my bag right away and working them into the rotation. So hopefully you guys like them as much as I do.